Hey guys, just catching up on what was missed on the end of the last video. I went through the upgrades and I also purchased an add-on. So you're going to see the upgrades that I did and you're going to see where the add-on additional pieces were found. So yeah, I hope you'll continue to join me on this journey and enjoy the ride. Thanks guys! Okay, so for this upgrade, we've actually got a lot here, so let's go for something that doesn't involve... Let's boost this one. So that's my auto heal. And let's... Nothing else I can do. That's fine. I'll save up the rest of my points. Alright. Oswald, Clay. Hey guys, now that we've gotten past the what was missed before, I have a nice surprise for everybody. Grim is finally here and we're no longer operating from two different blasted countries. Go ahead, say hi Grim.
Hiyo!
So with that, let's get right into the game. Merchants' prices for their goods may vary depending on their district's health status. That's good to know. Alright, time to check out my new jacket. That's really spiffy looking actually. Kind of like that. With a clever bowler cap. I think those are called. So, let's... Inventory. Firearms. Use revolver. Barker. Details because it's small. Nicknamed Barker because the noise produced when firing and the shape of its large muzzle. This pistol was conceived, crafted, and held by Carl Eldritch, second leader of the Guard of Prewin. Heavy, not very accurate, and supplied with customized magazine. It is a gun designed to quickly make many big holes in its target. Carl Eldritch asked to be buried with his gun so as to be able to shoot himself in case a vampire would trick him by somehow offer him the poisonous gift of immortality. However, the gun was mysteriously stolen before the funeral, never to be seen again. And yet, I've got it. And the other thing was the sword. There it is. Dragonbane. This ancient sword with the Latin phrase engraved on the blade has been forged in Wales during the 6th century and belonged to Paulus Aurelianus. That's a name to chew on. Founder of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole. Legend says he had this blade forged because he chose the path of exile and left England with his people. Dragonbane has been passed to each new primate of the Brotherhood and may have been used in secret ceremonies when a primate was sent on a path of war to defeat hostile creatures. The sacred sword was supposedly lost during the schism between the Brotherhood and the Guard of Prywin in the middle of the 19th century. It seems a few copies may have been made, but this is the true and original Dragonbane. Very nice. And then nothing else is new. Alright. Reach Whitechapel. I'm gonna go out the window. I still really hate that compass navigational bar. Whitechapel. District status serious. Okay. Get off of me. I don't know if I equipped my sword or if that's still the machete I was using. Wet Boot Boy's note. Concerning the recruitment of new boys in Whitechapel, I think I found one. Albie. He's as stupid as a stool, but tough. I asked him to prove to me he could get some drugs for the black market and delivered quickly and nicely. Next time we meet, I'll tell him he's accepted as a wet boot boy and he must now meet the bosses to get his orders. Dead inside. Wear a mask and save your life. Spanish influenza. Again, it's hitting kinda true. Ooh, blood. You don't know I'm a vampire, do you? I'm not gonna shift with you right there. Oh. Oh, fire's bad. You go away. How do these guys know I'm a vampire? It's not like my fangs are out or anything. Woo! That hurt. Sick citizens can be healed with the appropriate treatment. A healthy citizen helps to contribute to raising the health status of the district they belong to. Abandoned investment property. Cadigan.
have this first. It's locked, all right.
Alright, so I gotta go around. Yeah, I'll get to you in a minute. Thank you. Can I? Look, you're shiny.
Rangers are attacking me!
I hear you, I don't see you.
This is despicable.
Daggz, Rangers are attacking me!
Who are you?
What?
Cadigan.
Who are you?
It's all right, sir. You're safe now.
A fellow Englishman. Thank you, sir. For a moment, I thought those bloody heathens had killed me.
What are you doing here? This place is not safe.
Yeah, it's a cesspool, but it's mine. I came to collect some overdue rent, but those who still live here have gone completely bonkers.
You're very lucky to be alive.
Yeah, filthy immigrants. Fucking savages, every one of them. And now with this bloody fever, they're just animals.
You can find safety of sorts in Whitechapel. If you're quick and cautious, you'll be able to avoid the savages.
Can I? There's nothing else I can say to you? Goodbye. Box of pills. Bottle of alcohol. Rusty box of pills. Essence. Clove essence has been used since antiquity due to its strong anesthetic properties. Alright. Is there anything else I can look at in here? No. Bottle of alcohol. Some pills. Salicin, quinine. A lot of alcohol in this place.
I have this thirst for blood.
Gross. Actually, did I equip? I don't think I did. Change that to that. And then do I leave the blood siphoning knife or do I change it to a gun? I'll leave it for now. All right. Just over 100 meters from where I have to be, apparently. Oh, they have fire. That's not nice. Ooh, you've got a gun. I don't like you. Trigger part, money. Okay. Is there another door out of here? Glass vial. Report about Pembroke, 2nd November, from Scout Louis Cagney to Mr. Geoffrey McCallum. Object: Pembroke Hospital, survey vampire activity. Sir, having observed the Pembroke Hospital for 2 weeks now, we can confirm vampire activity there. First, we have proof of the presence of a female leech inside the hospital. The beast is clever. She acts like a mental patient to hide her true, unholy condition. I personally sneaked inside the hospital and heard the creature whining about her need for blood since her body is decaying. But it gets worse. The administrator of the Pembroke Hospital is Dr. Swansea. According to our team leader, Amanda Triton, who died yesterday in a fight against a skull by the canal, he may be a memberhood of the Brotherhood of St. Paul. If that's true, then there may be something big going on at Pembroke, maybe even a nest of vampires, protected by those bloody traitors of the stole. We don't know what to do, but we are convinced you'd better come quickly with reinforcements and heavy gear. Well, that's not getting back out to where it's supposed to be, is it? Steak. Bullets. Coins. No, I guess there's just the one way in and out of this place, so I gotta go around it. Oh, shiny. Guess there's a specific place I have to get to, but I'm not sure how to get there.
He's mine!
Alright, where are you?
Eat this!
Ooh. I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to grab the can. What's in here? Are you a hideout? No, you're not. I'll take the coins, though. Hideout unlocked.
Despicable.
So the other one wasn't, but this one is. Alright, do you have enough components to craft medicine, treatment, or serum? Alright. Fatigue. Oh yeah, press and hold. Press and hold. Press and hold. Press and hold. Okay, that's as many as I can hold. Can't make anything else. Okay. I'll recycle 2 of those, and I'll keep the rest. Recycle that. Recycle that. Average resale, average resale. So let's save those for now. Can I make anything else? One of them. Don't have enough for that. Let's do... box of pills. Stash. No, I don't want to click on that. Actually, can I upgrade? No, I cannot. Back.
I have this thirst for blood.
Alright. Oh, there's a bridge I definitely haven't crossed here before. Ow! That hurt. Take that. Go from here.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Okay, so Is this another hideout? No, it's not.
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert, stop it!
Ooh, what's going on over there?
The wet boots will be proud of me. Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy. I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me. Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking suffering. What?
Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. No one can help me. Not even you.
Says you.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. Now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy he just frayed me last nerve.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Intriguing.
I have found a very interesting letter. Your son planned to prove his worth to the gang by stealing your medicine.
Oh, I see. So the little bugger thought he could use his dad to build a reputation.
The gang's recruiter was dead when I found him. Perhaps you should take better care of your son.
I love my Albert, sir. Believe me. It's just... well, I'm an arsehole, I suppose. Anyway, thanks for the letter. This is for your trouble.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
Alright, so I'm here. Oh,
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your
Who are you?
problems.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Well, that's the guy that I just saved.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Alright, what have you got? Swanborough cordial with the list of ingredients printed in Latin. Glass vial. Ferrous tartrate. Sodium hypochlorite solution. Codeine, potassium permanganate. Ergotamine. Opium. Uh, 4, 16, 18. I'll hold on to these for now. Oh, that's the guy that I just
All
talked
the
to.
good boys join the army and the scum turn criminal. It's a shame, really.
Prevent disease. Careless spitting, sneezing, coughing. Spread the influenza. Spread by droplets sprayed from nose and throat. Do not cough in public. Kind of hard to stop yourself from coughing in entirely.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to. There's no one in.
This elixir will give you faith again.
Okay.
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
There's nobody here.
So that one's locked. How do I get over there then? Is there a spot where I can do my funky shadowy jump? How do I... How do I spy again? Okay, it doesn't look like there's an actual control. I think I have to be closer for it.
As long as you have the money.
Can I go in here? No. Well, that wasn't really effective. Can't go in here. I feel like I'm missing something.
As long as you have the money.
Maybe if I talk
Good
to you
evening,
again.
my dear colleague.
I'll
I'd
trade
like
you
to
some
see
stuff.
What kind of medicine you're selling?
Buy one just for the sake of it. Sell that. 12, 16, 18, 16. Let's sell this one. But there's nothing else that I can talk to her about. Oh, that's the door that I can't go
return
in.
later.
The citizens of London curfew official health warning. Curfew will be sounded at 9 p.m. by the church bells. All citizens must keep off the streets from that time until 5 a.m. Until further notice, a citywide curfew has been implemented. It is imperative that you wear your mask to prevent the spread of infection. If any member of your household becomes ill, inform the authorities immediately due to curfew not opened after 9 p.m.
I cannot enter.
How do I get over there?
I'll send you back to the bloody grave!
Bookstore. Lead rod. Influenza frequently complicated with pneumonia.
It's one of them! An H! Watch it!
Ring.
It's locked, all right.
And that one's locked too. Quarantine. Keep out of this area. But then how do I get... There has to be a way to get over there. I'm just not finding it. Alright, that one's locked. Coins. Coins are always good to have. Can I go to the bookstore? No. There's nowhere I can do my shadow jump to.
Cordial can be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
Alright. Oops. Zoom in. Alright, so I'm there. Let's go back to the hideout for a second.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again. The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to
It's locked. I can't believe
Gross.
I'm doing this. I have this thirst for blood. This is despicable.
Yes, it is. Who are you?
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick, though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed. Or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly. But it is not your concern, Doctor.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
So she's Romanian. Who are you?
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Well, that's rude.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
What are you smoking?
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
And
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool.
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
New hint available. Wants to cleanse the epidemic by fire. Believes that the vicar of St. Mary's Church is preaching false faith. I feel like I should bite him just for the sake of it. I don't trust him.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Why?
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
It's clandestine resistance in her homeland. Okay. Let's...
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Alright.
Soon the time will come when you will all be judged for your sins. Even now.
Who are you?
Welcome, sir. Please take a browse of my wares.
Oh, a
I'm
merchant.
Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Extortions put Barrett Lewis in a tough financial situation. Tough financial situation because of extortion.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever. Madness. Something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Let's go with she's a good nurse.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Right then. Show me what you have.
Alright, what do you got? Okay, aluminium, spring, grease, screw, glass vial, ferrous tartrate, sodium hypochlorite solution, codeine, potassium permanganate, ergotamine, opium, handle part, trigger. Okay, so his prices are the same as the other woman's.
Cheap price, good quality.
Would you like to know more? Guard the freedom of us all. Join the royal fleet today.
Oh, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Your king and country need you. Join the British ranks and help the brave lads up at the front.
Its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu.
Alright. Remove that one because it's confusing me.
No match for the Swanborough cordial.
Take that.
I
Gross.
can't believe I'm doing this.
Alright. Let me find...
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Who are you?
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Okay, should I go with your criminal, or you could have refused? It's always the one that have the Y on it that are really important, and I'm not sure how to choose this one. Let's go with, I guess, survival.
You survive at any cost, even at the expense of others. Perhaps that's just the law of nature.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Interesting.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
That's good to know.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid. Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
37 meters. Oh, it's the other side of that building, I think. What are you?
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm a Harry, by the way.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough like... well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
You have a place to call home? Let's see, your father did his best.
I'm sure your father did his best when he found this house. Times are tough for everyone, young man.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. But I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Well, they can be jerks. Alright. Oh.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
Don't mind me as I rifle through your house.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
It's locked.
Job refusal letter. Dear Mr. Peterson, it is my duty to inform you of our refusal to accept your application for a job at the dockyard. I must thank you for the time spent at our office explaining the difficulty of your situation with your ill boy and the loss of your beloved wife, but it is also my duty to point out the policy of our company, which expressly reproves the employment of former criminals or convicts. Your unfortunate connections with the ill-famed Wet Boot Boys have been duly noted. These are hard times, sir, and Finch and Harper intend to reward first the candidates who pass the small inquiry we like to conduct about our future employees. You have my deepest sympathy, and may God be with you and your family. Sincerely, R.D. Harper. Professional vampire hunters. If you ever suspect someone to be a vampire, don't try to kill it yourself. You have no chance. Instead, contact me or try to inform professional vampire killers. These men and women are rare, but they know what to do against these evil creatures. It seems that some of them are working together under the name the Guard of Perwen, a paramilitary organization dedicated to the eradication of vampires in London. They are your friends. You are not alone. Solutions exist. Be smart. Spread the word. Clarence Crossley. For more information, please contact me directly. Can I jump out the window? No. That one's locked.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
Okay.
Joe, please, I don't...
30. I feel like I'm walking in big circles, and I probably am.
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems.
Some enemies, including blind skulls and preachers, will feel your presence while using this ability. Okay, what's in here? Lots of blood is in here. Can I go upstairs? What's over here? Hideout unlocked. While it may not have been the one I was looking for, it's the one that I will use. No need to refill anything because I haven't used the gun. Alright. So let's recycle these. Okay, I'll save the rest to sell. I'll sell those. And I guess I will recycle that. Can I make any more? Alright, so how many do I have? 5. Okay. So let's check the stats first and see if I can do any upgrades. And then we'll jump back into trying to find a way around that doorway. I do have points that I can do, so let's see. Shadow Veil. Drain your stamina to fade into shadows. No. Perform a supernatural. No. Place a let's do that one. So we unlock that one. Oh, I don't have enough points for that. I thought I did. Okay, what is this? There we go. Upgrade. And I can upgrade. What are you? All right, save the changes. The following night. Whitechapel. Alright. Let's go through this doorway. When looking for a citizen, don't forget your vampiric senses. I know where he's at, I just don't know how to get to him. All right.
Good evening, my dear colleague.
Let's get some
I'd
more.
like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Get some more of that. It can be useful. Alright. Now let's try going this way. That's locked.
When science failed you.
Maybe it's time to see if this Christina is still working nearby.
Alright, talk
Good
to
evening,
him.
sir. Do you remember me?
If you're here for a reward, you'll be sorely disappointed. But I'll gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a bounty. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed from the Pembroke.
A doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity. My name's Bates. Cadogan Bates.
Do you require assistance, Mr. Bates?
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here. That would help my business, because I say, a live tenant's a paying tenant.
Yeah, this guy's the jackass.
It's unusual to see someone so happy around here, especially considering the current situation.
Why should I be sad now? There've always been wars, disease, tragedy. There always will be.
That's an unusual way of seeing things in these trying times.
I don't see why I should shed a tear for another man's woes. I'm healthy, and I intend to stay so.
What is your business exactly?
I offer fair lodgings for a modest price to the poor and weary of Whitechapel.
I see. And what about those who cannot pay?
Well, deals can be done, if you know what I mean. Money's not the only currency. After all, I'm not immune to a pretty face.
You're taking advantage.
In other words, you take advantage of these poor lost souls.
Begging your pardon, I thought you was a man who could appreciate the complexity of the modern world. Things ain't just black and white, you know.
Tell me, what's your honest opinion of the increasing violence in London?
People are just beginning to discover what we've always known. This city's rotten to the core. They just took their bloody time to wake up and notice it.
What do you mean?
People are acting like the violence is news. But it's always been savage down here. It just bubbles to the surface every now and again.
What help can I be?
What help could I possibly be to your business?
That's simple. I already get good money from all those fleeing the war. Can you imagine what they'd be willing to pay if I could offer medical assistance too?
Mr. Bates, do not make me regret saving your life in this quarantine zone.
I understand, Dr. Reed, you're from a good family. Don't want to get your hands dirty. That's fine. I'll be happy to act as your middleman.
No.
If I were entering into the world of street medicine, It would be on my terms, and without such dubious associates as yourself, Mr. Bates.
So it's a no then. That's too bad. The Reed tonic could have really helped people, you know, saved lives. Isn't that what you do? I mean, people buy that Swamburer's shit.
You seem to have recovered well since your attack. Do you ever think about what happened to you?
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare. Savages, absolute bloody savages. Their appearance. Jesus. It made me want to puke.
You'd better not come back here. I won't be around next time to save you. I'm looking for Dorothy Crane. She's a nurse. What can you tell me about her?
Dorothy Crane. Bless her soul. I really should thank her someday.
Has she treated you?
No. When I need a checkup, I'd go to a bloody doctor, not some back alley clinic full of sick foreigners.
Tell me truthfully, why are you so thankful?
By keeping my tenants alive, she's making me a rich man. Every month they live, it's more coin in my pocket.
Ick. Alright, so...
Since I took an oath to help people, can I be of assistance?
Well,
I don't know if I have any.
That's for sure. But it was bound to happen with all these refugees about.
Infecting you is probably the last thing on these people's minds. Take this, in any case.
What? You give me this for free? Don't have a clue about this place, do you?
Shut up before I change my mind. You know, I may be a vampire during plague times, but I took a freaking oath.
Goodbye, Mr. Bates.
Even though you're scum, I have to help you. Now, get out of my way so I can go back to finding the other guy. Look, that one's closed too.
It's locked, all right.
Yeah, I know it is. Wait, what's that? It's another guy. Alright. Maybe if I go down here.
I'll kill you!
Did you respawn? I think you respawned.
We have to stop it!
Ooh, nice. One hit. Excuse me. Can I jump up on this? Another locked door. And that's the keep out sign. Is that the 9 o'clock curfew?
Distribute flowers at this hour of night. Maybe it's time to see.
It's locked.
I don't think I've been this way before. Who are you?
Good evening, Benjamin.
Oh.
Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Reed.
He's got a migraine. Do I have anything to help him?
You don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir. It's like I'm never right.
I don't have it yet.
I will see you later. A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
Okay. Okay, I have cold, sepsis, anemia, and fatigue. Damn. I guess I have to be at the bench to find out.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
No.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
Picked an easy target.
Medication and drugs are a rare commodity in East London. So you picked an easy target, didn't you?
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Goodbye, young man.
All right. Who are you? Oh, you're a dead guy.
The gangs are ruining this neighborhood, if you ask me.
All right. Okay, so after some exploration, let's go back to the gate and see if there's anything I missed there. Okay.
This is despicable.
Yuck. Okay, so go back to the gate.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Okay. Is there a way that I can get closer? Let's see. Apparently there's a spot where you can stand. Oh, I wasn't close enough.
strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me, just downwind.
Intriguing.
It's locked. I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby
Alright.
the church they just mentioned.
So... let's go this way.
No, please, I don't have your money. Come on, Barrett, you want to go, you pay for it.
Clayton. No, that's Christina. Who are you? No, that's Tobias. Who are you?
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Yay, progression.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
That makes sense.
I served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
It's not a simple epidemic. Or rational. You know what?
I'm
Simple.
convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Okay.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
Alright, personal questions. Nothing yet.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
A nurse I know is compromised, or I care about public health. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You know what? compromised.
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital may be involved with unsavory activities.
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nithercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nithercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
So I have to go around the building.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Now we go around the back of the building. Ooh. Didn't I get you already? Apparently not.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nithercott, at your service.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
Interesting point of view.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Unique point of view.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
Why would that be?
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
Tell me, Mr. Nithercott, Why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the arid hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox, the stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Alright. Now for Dorothy.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
He's got a bit of an echo, and I'm not sure why.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What about Darius?
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Thank you for that information. Alright, find the inhabitants in Whitechapel. Find the mailbox in the let.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly.
She's a mute.
I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Tell me about Richard Nithercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia.
Let's try... no.
Very well. Goodbye then.
Darius Petrescu's letter. My dearest, most beloved children, I am so sorry you have not heard from me for a few months. The situation in London has been difficult. I know it may sound selfish and silly when you, my children, are still living in a country consumed by war, but there is also a war going on here in England. War against poverty and against injustice. This is a war I intend to fight despite my advanced years. This is why I am writing to you today. I won't be coming back to Romania. That probably means I won't see you again before I die. Don't be sad, my darlings. You are grown up now. and you have children of your own. You know the sacrifice we sometimes must accept to make the world a better place. This is one I must make now, to feel useful. One more time. I wish you long and happy life. Kiss my grandchildren for me, and remember that your father loves you all the way from this cold, damp country. I am, as ever, your loving father, Darius Petrescu.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Alright, let's go find him. Oh, who are you? Oh, that's...
Good evening, Christina.
Christina.
Change your mind, Mr. Reed?
No, thank you.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
I prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett.
This district seems to get uglier every year.
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
Okay. Okay. Oh, money. Any more shinies over here? Aha!
It's locked.
Of course it is. What's this? The antique figure of the Vrikolakas. I hope I'm pronouncing that anywhere close. Of my many journeys, I believe I was the most amazed by my exploration of the Mediterranean Isles, and particularly the island of Santorini, searching for traces of vampire presence in these sunburnt lands. Herodotus himself refers to the island in his 4th book. I'm personally convinced that there are many mysteries to be unveiled in this part of the world. Who knows that even today, the island of Santorini is still considered by some as the most vampire-infested place in the world, way more than the Carpathians, and that its inhabitants are considered as specialists of the vampire hunt, or the hunt for the Vrikolakas, as they call this creature. According to local myths, the Vrikolakas is a dead person who does not decay and who can show a vermilion complexion as long as he is gorged with fresh blood. He cannot enter a house without knocking and getting a response. Garlic makes him flee. He does not consume under the sun, but his skin blackens. He can change into wolf and other animals. What struck me the most is that the same name exists with small variations from Mediterranean Sea to the Balkans. The Greeks call him the Vrikolakas, the Bulgarians and the Macedonians name him Varkolak or Varkolak. The Serbians call him Vukudlak. Yes, Vukudlak, a name so similar to the Vokod we already know, my dear brothers. Just to write the few words now gives me the shivers. I'm personally convinced that we are here confronted to some of proto-vampire. Maybe they are a missing link between the modern vampire and the creatures that came before them. If God allows me enough time, I wish one day to go back to the Santorini island and find the trail of this antique and forgotten figure. From Drinking at the Fountain of Knowledge by Usher Talltree, Primate of St. Paul. Okay. I don't think I need to talk to him any further. Alright. Dorothy Crane's dispensary. Clove essence. I think she's upstairs. Get over there. Letter to Nurse Crane. London, October 31st. My dear Dorothea, when you read this letter, I will be on the boat that will take Anton and me back to Brasov. England was not for us, and I confess I cannot wait to see again the proud hills of Transylvania. As soon as we are there, I promise I'll light a candle in the Black Church, and I'll pray for you to survive this terrible epidemic. I know that you do not agree with this decision, and that you are determined to be more useful by helping our comrades exiled in the East End, but Anton cannot wait to return to our beloved country and see our long-awaited revolution bloom. He is my husband. I will stay by his side. I know we had our arguments and our fights. I know you would have wanted me to stand by your side and help you manage this clinic of yours. But now that I am leaving England, be assured that if anything were to happen to you, even if you were in great trouble or danger, I would come back immediately to London, with or without Anton. Please think of me as much as I think of you. I am your affectionate sister, Theodora. Gives away drugs and medicine for free. Has a sister in Romania. Was a clandestine resistant in her homeland. How do I upgrade my memorize level? That's what I want to know.
I need help!
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Razvan Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Anything else I should know?
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor. None at all.
Ooh.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor.
I thought it was called a tracheotomy.
He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy. Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor.
Oh, don't make me have to push any specific
Bleeding,
buttons.
Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see.
Oh no!
I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him.
Oh, this
We've
is
lost his pulse.
nerve-wracking.
He's dying, Doctor.
Epinephrine, I think? Is that how you do it?
Epinephrine, now.
Yes, Doctor.
I really have no clue what I'm doing. Oh, please tell me I did the right thing. Not the right thing?
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Yes. We did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
Oh, that does not make me feel good at all. I think I did something wrong at those choices.
You're here to test my bedside manners. To what do I owe this courtesy? I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty. Nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
Are you sure about that?
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, Are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
I'm tempted to spare her and let her resign, but let me charm her.
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All gone.
Oh. Okay. Interview with the vampire trophy earned. Oh, crap, it's gonna suffer.
This one stinks already. Filthy piece of shit!
I feel like I messed up.
Steady, boys!
Ooh, that hurt.
There's one of them vermin!
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take off the Liston blade. Where does this door lead?
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Oh.
Hello, Dr. Reed. Come on in.
Can I talk to you?
If you want to talk to Dorothy, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane?
Like myself and many people in this area, Dorothea is from occupied Romania. That's all you need to know.
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine. The
I think I screwed up.
Hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Yep. Pretty sure I screwed up. That's okay. If I do a run through, I can do a different...
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu?
Do a different choice.
Children or grandchildren?
Who knows?
Next time I'll just have her resign.
I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but... Thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I shared many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
But it's not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Okay. So...
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to
All right. If a district health status drops below the critical threshold, it will plunge into chaos. Citizens will be reported missing, their quests will be lost, and the dangerous creatures will begin to roam the streets. That's good to know. I think that's probably what's going to happen to that one because I screwed up. Ah well. Live and learn. Alright, I'm going to leave it there for now because that's a lot to process. And hopefully you guys will join me in the next part. See you in the next one. Bye guys!